have just got back from a retreat with a group of 11 of my biz friends. And on that retreat, a challenge was set. We are officially in a competition to be the first person to get to $10 million dollars of revenue a year. In today's episode, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the retreat and tell you a little more about this challenge and how just in a few days, it's completely changed how I think about business. All right, let's dive in to the $10 million year challenge. So, before I talk about the $10 million year challenge, I wanted to share a little bit about the retreat, take you behind the scenes, and share a little bit about what unfolded and how I came to be part of this group. So, the attendees at the retreat were Denise Duffield Thomas, Leonie Dawson, Yana Kingsford, Tina Tower, Katie Robertson, who is the founder of Katie Draws, Tash Corbin, Michelle Jakubenko, who's the founder of Eyes of Love Photography, Rebecca Saunders, Kerry Rowett, Amanda Daly, Victoria Gibson, and of course myself. So there was 12 of us on this retreat. It was at the Gold Coast, which is my hometown, and people traveled from Sydney, Canberra, the New South Wales coast, central New South Wales, the Sunshine Coast, Adelaide, Melbourne, and even the UK to be at this retreat. It was such an incredible group of people in the room and equally such an eclectic group. We actually had this dance session after one of our masterminding sessions where we all kind of love to dance. We're having a bit of a boogie. And I looked around the room and thought, we do not look like we belong together because everyone has a very different style, business, aesthetic, and of course, different story. And so I thought it might be interesting to talk a little bit about how all of these people came together. So the core group of connections actually came from Marie Folio's B School. So B School, if you don't know, is essentially a business school. From what I understand, it's primarily for people who are looking to start up a business or have just got started in business. And a lot of the group actually met in B School way back when. And then from there, I guess the group has expanded because, and again, I don't know all of the connections, but I do know that Michelle has been Denise's photographer for many years. I've had photos taken by her, and I know that Kerry Rowett is an incredible healer and energy mentor to Denise, Leonie, a couple of the people in the group. I somehow came to be part of the group because I was speaking on stage last year at Tash Corbin's Heart Centered Conference. And as a result of that, I then got added into the group chat. And inside the group chat, there's lots of conversations about business. And this time last year, someone said, hey, why don't we get together and have an in-person retreat? So I actually went along to that retreat last year and then again this year. And the group was double the size this year. A few of the faces I didn't know at all. I'd never met Yana, Katie, or Victoria, but having met them, they are just such beautiful souls. And we all got along really well, which was just incredible because when you think about it, there's a lot of alpha energy in the room. And with all these powerful CEO, energies, and I wasn't quite sure how we were all going to click, knowing how different we all were. But it really was just such an amazing and expansive space. So, a little bit about what we did on the retreat. We all arrived into the Gold Coast on Monday. Actually, I think that there was a bit of a staggered arrival, but on the Monday night, we had a pretty chill night. We had some dumplings for dinner and we got an early night. And the reason for that is because on the Tuesday, we had a full day photo shoot day. So we've got the fabulous Michelle. She's from Eyes of Love Photography. If you don't know her, please go and check out her incredible work. She's quite well known for the work that she does with coaches and creatives, just really, really beautiful photos. So we had Michelle for the day. We also had Dan, who's from Head North Films, and he was coming along to be our videographer. We had an assistant there, Deb, and Deb is actually an actress, believe it or not. She's pretty cool. It was really nice chatting to her. And she just sort of was doing some work in between. And yeah, basically, we'd hired a house, a beautiful house to go and capture all these photos. And we spent the day capturing B-roll, getting photos. And it was really cool. It reminded me a little bit of when I was younger and I used to get ready with my girlfriends and we'd be helping each other out with our hair, helping pick outfits. And that was sort of the vibe. We're all, saying, cheering each other on, sharing clothes, making suggestions around capturing certain shots. So that was a really fun, but I will also say a bit of a tiring day. But if you come and have a look at my Insta, I'm sure you will start to see some of these photos rolling out and you will agree it was definitely worth the energy and the effort. So after a big day on the Tuesday night, there was a trivia night on, and we said, let's all go to trivia. And the funniest thing is that the two teams, we had too many people for just one team. So we broke into two. Our two teams actually tied on the trivia night. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of giggles. And again, it wasn't a super late night for me. I know that a few of them did stay up. But on the Wednesday is when we went into the structured masterminding. So there were 12 people at the retreat. In the structured masterminding, we each had 30 minutes to share a challenge, share something that we wanted support from the group. And this is where the magic really started to unfold for me. I learned so much from the other business owners because most of the people in the room are earning over seven figures a year, if not more than that. And it was really incredible to hear about their goals, their direction changes, their passions, where their head was at. It really was such an amazing experience. On the Wednesday night, we went out for Victoria Gibson's birthday. I hadn't met Victoria before this retreat, but she's a really cool chick. Loved meeting her and spending time with her. And her whole jam is human design. So she really brought a lot of value to the group based on this special skill set that she has. But Wednesday night, we went out and had a really bougie dinner out. We overdressed for the event. We all did heels, dresses, you name it. And that was a really, really fabulous night. Thursday was another day of full masterminding. So on the Thursday was the day that I had the chance to have my hot seat and share my challenge that I am really struggling with in my business. And I got some epic ideas around really owning my space as a business profit coach, really stepping into how I'm different from other mentors and coaches in the market and really stepping in and owning that space and working on my messaging. And I also shared with the group how I really have a challenge around focus. I know I am so brilliant at creating results for my clients, around getting results for them. And one of the things that I struggle to do is to concentrate and execute in my own business. So I spoke to the group about that and got some ideas around how I can create more of that in my business. Now, apologies, I know I've gone on a bit of a tangent, but I just thought you might like to hear a little bit about what we did on the retreat because I know that I love to go on retreats and I'm always really curious about the formats that they take around the takeaways. So I thought that I would give a bit of context before I dive into the $10 million year challenge. So this all basically began because we wrapped up the final afternoon of the retreat with a bit of a hot fire question session. So we went around and said, what's something you'd love to know? So some examples of this were, what are you finding is the most effective ways to get new leads for your business? So two of the group who already have seven-figure businesses said that they are really ready for a big challenge and that they are ready to hunt down a $10 million revenue year. So for context, I was one of the baby businesses in the room. I've got a multi six-figure business, which I've had for, I think, 5 years now. But I felt so compelled to be a part of it. When they spoke about expanding into $10 million revenue years, they said, who's up for the challenge? And I said, I freaking am. I got so excited about the thought of that challenge. And here's something. Yes, at the moment, I have some things that I want to create in a materials sense. If you're a regular listener of the podcast, you will know that I want to build the dream house. I want to put some money aside for my kids' schooling. There's a lot of like short-term little things like that. But what I realized is that the work that I do is so much bigger than my own desires. It's really about having a bigger impact in the world, about empowering business owners to create their biggest and most successful lives. And it's about the unapologetic desire to make money just because, and to also make money because we know that money in the hands of women or good people is going to have far more positive impact in the world. And I really want to be part of that movement. So I got super fired up about the idea of earning $10 million in 1 year. Now, of course, that doesn't necessarily have to happen in the next 12 months. It's about saying, hey, this is a desire for me. This is something that I do want. And I wanted to share this on the podcast because it's stepping into a whole new level of, holy crap, what does this actually look like? So coming off the back of that, one of the things that we decided was that we need to talk about the inputs or the KPIs to get there. And so we added in a few extra layers into the challenge. So some examples are the size of your email list, the size of your social media following, etc., etc. And if you've worked with me, whether it's one-on-one or inside a group container, my mastermind, the Profit Collective, you will know that I talk about actually having the key performance indicators, having the tools that don't guarantee, but they are certainly things that will help to support you to create a bigger financial outcome. So we decided that we also wanted to focus in on those metrics as well. Anyway, we had a ton of fun. The 3 people who said, hell yeah, I'm in on the $10 million year challenge. We are all very competitive. There's been a bit of trash talk going on in our group chat already. We're egging each other on. We're like, I'm going to beat you. You're going down. You name it. We are all feeling inspired and pumped up. And I can't tell you, this has only been a couple of days. I can't even tell you the energetic level up that I've had. It's like there's this fire in my belly, like, hell yeah, I want to hit that revenue goal. And of course, me being me, in a profit-led way, of course. I don't want to be one of those people who spends $9,900,000 just to hit the sexy revenue goal if it's not from a place of true profitability. So I've got this renewed level of hunger and desire to earn more. And the cool thing about that is I know this is going to have a massive positive knock-on effect to people in my world, to people in my audience. Hopefully listening to this, you start to get excited and maybe a bit triggered. You might be like, what the freaking hell is she talking about? But then you might start to say, actually, I think that stepping into my next level really, really excites and fires me up too. I know that for people in my mastermind community, I'm going to be sharing a lot of this around what this looks like, how they can use this energy, this passion, this desire to create more in their own businesses. And some of the things that it's really got me thinking about is who I need to be to get there. And it has me so excited. So, if you work with me now, or if you've ever wanted to be in my world, I'm going to be shaking up my packages and my prices very soon. So, if you have ever wanted to work with me and find out what it looks like to be inside the Profit Collective or work together one on one, now really is the time to reach out because things are going to be changing very soon. I am mapping out my $10 million year income strategy, and I am going all in on it. This goal is going to need me to do things very differently. And I am so here for it. So here's some of the things that I'm going to be looking at to step into my next profit level. The number one thing is my energy. Now, I'm going to do a whole podcast episode around this, but I am bringing horny bridesmaid energy. Now, if that's got you a bit curious and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? Make sure that you tune in to next week's episode of the podcast because I'm going to be sharing what that means, how you can create it, and why the people at the retreat told me that I have horny bridesmaid energy. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is streamlining my packages and my pricing. I'm going to have to be mapping out a practical strategy of creating the next level of revenue growth. I'm going to be doing a lot of work on my messaging. And last but definitely not least is my marketing and also how I'm investing into the business. I've really been very strategically keeping my costs low, not extending myself. And so I really want to be very intentional about these investments. I don't want to be stretching myself, but I do want to make sure that I am intentionally investing into my business growth if I want to be growing quite rapidly. I'll, of course, be bringing you on this journey. So please make sure that you're following me on Instagram at Clare, CLARE _wood _coach. I'll put a link in the show notes for today's episode as well. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and please share this episode of the podcast with anyone who you know will get super fired up about this, who has big goals for their business, but perhaps has been a little bit scared to lean in and really go for it. So the $10 million year challenge has been set. I am so excited, and I'm going to be honest, a little bit nervous to be sharing this with you, to be putting my hand up to be part of this process. But I have a fire in my belly and I am so, so pumped for this. So make sure you stay in my world, reading my emails, listening to the podcast, because I'm going to be sharing more about this journey as it unfolds over time. If you do have any questions that you wanted to ask me about the challenge or even about the retreat, send me a DM or send me an email. I'm at Clare at clarewood.com, CLARE at clarewood.com. Drop me an email. I love to hear from you because I can always share in future podcast episodes answers to your questions. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a magical, magical week, and I will chat to you again next week.